And today is another viewer VOD review video on a solo victory cup, and I'm going to explain to you guys how he could have won this game instead of coming 13th, which he does. And actually, if you do want to be VOD reviewed yourself, just like this guy did, then join my Discord using the link in the description of this video. Yeah, so the first thing that I don't like that he did is that little thing he did there. So he has a hammer, right? He hammered, landed here, and then continued to tarp, maybe using 15 more builds for maybe 4 like tiles of distance, right? Which maybe in a previous season, or if he didn't have hammer, I would like that maybe. But here, all he needed to do was land here, ramp up, and then sit on this layer right here, and then wait till zone's in his back, and then hammer in to zone and box, and there he would have saved like maybe 15 to 20 builds, which is actually a lot in solos. So he did not need to do this for the little ground that he covered using that. It was pretty useless. He just needed to hammer, box re-landed, or actually up on a high layer, hammer and then box again. And I like what he's doing here. It's very simple, but he's just waiting for zone to get on his back so he can hammer forward. But while that's happening, he's like staying around his box, taking peeks and stuff, trying to get a refresh, really focusing on that because obviously his mats are bad. But here he realizes nothing, so he just hammers forward again. And yep, same thing again. The thing is though, at this point, or like before this point, you should be focusing on getting a kill more than just hammering, boxing, because you're playing like you have mats, but you don't have mats. I'd say the best way for this to happen would honestly be to go low ground, I'm not even gonna lie, because if you go down here, you're obviously going to find other people that are doing the same thing as you that aren't very stacked, and they're just playing low ground because they're not very good on loot and mats, because most of the people that have mats are going to be playing higher up players. So you might think that's good, you want to fight those people because they have good mats, but you're not going to win against those people, and those people are just going to run because they don't want to die, because they don't need to risk a refresh. So those are like the worst people to go for. So I'd say on this rotate, instead of hammering and landing up there, I've noticed my mat's like 30 builds. I'm going to go low ground, front side, and then start looking for a kill down here, or at least one layer above low ground, just near these people that aren't very stacked because they're playing low ground. Like look at this guy, 6 builds, this guy 34 builds. Like obviously the average player down here is going to be worse off, because if they were really stacked, they'd be up here if they're a good player and smart. So I'd say when you start to have bad mats in a zone like this, especially when it's kind of flat and nice to play low ground, then before you get really desperate on mats, like maybe when you have 30 or 40 builds, I'd go low ground, start getting some kills. But that's only really like in this specific situation with this type of zone, and it only being second moving zone, because with 20 or 30 builds and later of the game, like you could keep playing higher layers. And now he actually did get a kill there. But the thing is, like, you definitely don't want to be getting a kill at the point where you have 0 mats. But still, let's go from here. I'd say for this zone, definitely stay up on this layer. Oh, that was bad. He just used so many mats sliding. I know it's like a muck up of mechanics and stuff there, but damn, bro. I was gonna say, after he gets his kill here and he hammers, it would be nice to end up like on a box right here, which is actually in zone, even though he has only 30 builds, because then he can just wait for next zone and then have it easy rotate to that and then drop low ground. So say he ended up boxed up here, which is actually in zone, as you can see on the bottom right, and then say next zone pulls this way, then the next zone he'd drop down low ground front side and start looking for kills on the scuffed players on low ground. But I'm pretty sure he didn't purposely drop down, but he ends up getting down here. But to not get in that situation, it's actually a long backtrack on the stuff that I was talking about. Like on first/second moving, actually second moving, when he started to have 30 builds, he needed to go low ground and start looking for a kill. And then if he got that kill on this zone, he would have rotated earlier, so he wouldn't have had to like slide through all the people and then muck up because of the pressure. He would have already been in there before anyone else was there. Yeah, let's talk about from here on now. I don't even know if I'd hammer, to be honest, because like if you hammer, like obviously you're going to go places, but if you don't have mats and you just landed off a hammer, you just broke through all the builds and you're going front side. So first of all, you broke your cover while you're white, and you're going to a place where there's not much builds front side, and if there are builds, there's someone else's builds that are going to shoot you, and if they hit you once, you get tagged for white and they're going to key you relentlessly and you're going to die. So I say instead of hammering, what you got to do if you're in a situation exactly like that, where you're very scuffed on the backside here, is just kind of play on the storm edge with your mid-miss like he sees, or like make a make-it play, and just play along the very edge of the builds, like crawling and slowly crouching up behind builds like this. Well, actually, this does kind of work out for him because the hammer doesn't go too far. It like kind of sets him back far enough anywhere. And then he kind of does do what I say. Just juices out the make-its. Oh, He mucked that up. Yeah, this is when I wouldn't want to hammer, because even though the guy's editing, like, he's just gonna go somewhere where he can't even build. Like, he needs to slowly crouch up to this, then mantle up here, and then slowly crouch behind these builds, maybe break in here and just slowly like hijack a bunch of stuff. Because here, hammering is kind of just like an escape thing, like, oh, let's just quickly run up here and just get out of here. And then boom, you just get chucked into the middle of nowhere for no mats and die. But if you were just walking up and behind like people's tarps and stuff, slowly gnawing and making a way where you're going, you know exactly where you're going and where you came from. But with the hammer and no mats to back yourself up, you just chuck yourself into the middle of nowhere with no protection.